All right, joining me now. It's been way too long. Thrilled to have him back on SI Media with Jimmy Traina, one of the top insiders across all of sports from the NFL Network. Ian Rapoport. Ian, how's it going?
What's up, man? How are you? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Got to figure a good time to check. It's crazy. We're already week 5 is here. I mean, it's insane.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I do this every year where you get all geared up for week 1, and then there's so much that goes into the preparation and the storylines. And this year was is Micah going to get traded? Is Trey Henderson going to get his deal? I mean, there was so many things. And then the season starts and you turn around and it's October and it's all right, well, that's weird. But that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, it really is crazy. And Ian, of course, NFL Network, The Insiders, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7. And then, of course, you can catch him on NFL Game Day morning at 9 on the NFL Network. So a very busy time. I want to get into all that with that schedule. The NFL has become a 365-day a year company. I mean, there maybe you get 2 or 3 weeks there in the summer where it's quiet, but other than that, it's going nonstop. How much busier is in season than off season for you? Because in off season, I would think draft, free agency has got to be kind of crazy. Maybe this season, when you have the games, is actually a little easier. I'm curious, as the senior insider, how much changes when the season starts for you?
It's interesting because for a long time, my wife and I would be all right, season is the work time. And when the season ends, then we can finally relax. And it's that's not reality. It's just not. Now, the season is busy. Don't get me wrong. Mondays are insane because of injuries, someone getting fired, quarterback changes. Tuesday's my day off. But I still work. I still take a ton of phone calls because if someone calls or something's going on, I answer it, I do the work, or I'll pass it along to some of my buddies to kind of work on who are working that day. Wednesdays, you kind of gather yourself. Thursdays, it's we have Thursday Night Football now. I'm on the Amazon Prime Video broadcast pre and post game, so I've added that, which makes it busier, which has been great. Fridays are kind of busy because you're getting stuff for Sunday. Saturdays are busy, and then Sundays are kind of insane. But it's I know the schedule. I know what's going to happen each day. There's news that could pop. Today's Wednesday. We had the Browns quarterback change. I knew that was coming. I was ready for that. Stuff happens. But I know the rhythm of the season. So I can, let's say I wanted to go out on a Tuesday night or on a Friday night. I can do that. I can have some fun. Off season is insane. I would say from really the playoffs through mid to late March, anything can happen at all times.
Yeah.
And that's really where it gets bonkers because I would basically from there's 3 weeks, there's combine through the end of free agency. I'm barely a person because there's just stuff happening at all times. You have to be on edge always,
I'm curious because you said Saturdays in season are crazy. Now I know you guys do a lot with the injuries, questionable, doubtful, who's in, who's out. Is that what? Because I would have thought a Saturday might be light, but tell me about a Saturday in the season.
So usually on Saturdays, I do what a lot of other suburban dads do, and moms and whatever, is I go to my kids' sporting events, right? I got 2 who play baseball. I got 1 who plays, I only have 2, but 1 plays baseball and football. There's always sports happening. And then Saturday night, we'll go out to dinner, or there'll be a party, it'll be something. But you also have to prepare for Sunday. And so going into a Sunday pregame show, yes, there's the injuries. It's who's playing, who's not. But it's also you got to go through every storyline. What could happen? What's out there? How can I add to the, how can I add to our broadcast? I'll have 6 or 7 news topics for game day morning. So it's Friday and Saturday, you're basically calling everyone. And there are some coaches who will be hey, my window is 11 o'clock on Saturday. You good? And it's yeah, of course. I'm always good, so there's and then I'll write articles for Sunday. A lot of those get written Saturday. So, if you need to know where I am, you can generally find me on a big cushy Yeti chair with my laptop, typing out a story and talking to someone on the phone while watching my son's doubleheader. That's basically Saturday for me.
Right. You said that Saturday nights could be dinner or go to a party.
Mm-hmm.
when you're at a party, is it just annoying people constantly asking you for like quote unquote like inside tips for fantasy football? I would imagine you get a lot of that.
If it's a party outside where we live, like I live in Westchester, New York, like we live in
Right.
kind of a small community. If it's outside that, like if it's something in the city or like a bigger party, that stuff's pretty constant. If it's our friends, no one asks me anything ever.
Right.
Like,
So how do you play it when it's a big party like that? Are you do you try to give a little bit of an attitude to make them think they're annoying you, or do you have to play it nice
no,
and
I actually like, I don't really mind that much, to be totally honest. Like, first of all, it's always like a 30-second conversation. It's like, all right, I got one question. I'm like, come on, bring it on. Like, let's go. Like, there's going to be a time when nobody will care. Trust me.
right,
And so, like,
right,
I
right,
always am very cognizant of that. That like at some point I'll be like, no one will be like, hey, who should I start on my fantasy? They'll be like, didn't that guy used to do something? So, um, I also like, it is a little bit fun to have a job where like everyone seems really engaged with it. Like I like
yeah,
my job.
yeah.
I like talking about football. I think, people always say like, well, you're not a fan, like you don't have a team. Like, does that make it less interesting? Like, I feel like it's more interesting what I do because I
I'm the
know so
same
many
exact way.
things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um,
I love that I'm not a fan because I don't know. I enjoy everything.
Yeah. It's all fun. Like I love gossip. I love
Yeah,
hearing what's going on behind the scenes. Like I don't need to like these guys are not like heroes to me. Like we're sort of
right,
all past that. So I want to know all the stuff. And
right.
so I like really enjoy watching football and learning about football and talking about it because I think it's really interesting. So like like let's say we'll go like really outside our world. We'll go to like Kentucky Derby, Saratoga, like horse racing stuff where you're out in bars and you're with
Right.
people you don't and people come up all the time. And it actually makes like a kind of a fun atmosphere because like guys will come up and chat and everyone's always so respectful and nice and
Right.
cool. Not maybe not cool, but always respectful and nice. And then like their girlfriends or wives will come up and chat with my wife. Like it's actually like everyone's kind of interested and it's fun. So I don't, it's not really a
Yeah.
bad thing at all.
But when you're in that situation, what percentage of the questions are fantasy football related? I bet people that's what I would assume, but I shouldn't assume. I'll let you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
In season, it's a lot of fantasy football. Um, I'll get, there's other stuff like there's like, who should I pick with this game? And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Like that's not
Yeah,
me. I
yeah.
don't, I don't really deal with that stuff. It's just such a slippery slope that it's like,
I have to say the NFL really has you guys well trained with that. I mean, you work for the network, so it's not surprising. But anytime I've ever asked like a play ex player or current play, anyone I've gotten to know over the years, anything related to gambling, they shut it
yeah.
down so fast. It's really remarkable.
I
So
mean,
the NFL has done a
it's
good job
just
of that.
easier that way. Like and now
Yeah.
I'm a little different because like I've never really gambled and I honestly like, don't know a ton about. I mean, I understand that it exists, but like
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to the lines. Like I really don't. Um, and like so people come up and I'm like, first of all, no. Second of all, like I'm definitely not who you should be asking. Um,
Right.
and like so and so in season it'll be fantasy stuff. Out of season, it'll be like, all right, like what's really going on with this team, or like what's this guy really like? Like that people want to know the gossip, which again
Right.
is sort of my wheelhouse.
I'm curious because you said you don't look at the lines, you don't know the lines, you've never been a gambler. But seeing how gambling has, I'm not going to use the word taken over, that's not accurate, but infiltrated the sport in a way that as a degenerate gambler, I never thought I'd see what I've seen. What's your take on that from the outside? Do you think, and I despise this phrase, but do you think we're on a slippery slope? Do you think it was inevitable that this is where it had to go? Do you think where it is now is fine with pregame shows talking about stuff? What's your take on that?
First of all, it's been interesting to see pregame shows talk about it just because like for so many years it was like we could not even discuss it. And so
Right.
even still I'll see segments and I'll be like, well, that's weird that we're talking about this. I don't
Right.
I'm like not involved in any of that stuff. So I think like for me, and maybe this is a little bit of because like all my algorithms are properly trained, like I don't see a ton of gambling stuff at all. Like I'll see like there'll be like some people I follow will be like, I have this like special boost or whatever, and I'm like, all right, like like
Right.
when I like hosted Pat McAfee's show a couple of times, there'll be like a thing there where they talk about there's some like gambling stuff they're involved. I just like I don't really pay attention to it, and I don't really understand it that great. So like it's some of the I just kind of let it go by. Now I will
Yeah.
also say it definitely seems to have sparked interest or like sort of like churned interest a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like people liking football and wanting to talk about it because it's, first of all, I like it. Second of all, it helps me. So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just sort of
Right.
not my world.
Yeah. It's funny. You mentioned before, you'll be coaches will give you, a time window to talk to them.
Mhm.
Out of the 32 teams, are there any team? Let's do like coaches, front office. Are
Okay.
there any you don't have a good relationship who either don't trust you or you don't trust them or they don't give you information or like give me like how many you think you have a great relationship with and how many you don't have a good relationship?
All right, that's a good question. So I would say there's only I'll start with the bad first. There's only a couple that I don't talk to. Like honestly, like geez, maybe two, one or two. Like now, not all of them are like helpful. Some will be like, I'm happy to talk to you, but like you'll have having a conversation and be like, hey, is this guy going on IR? They'll be like, nope. And you're like, okay. Like so there's always different levels. Some
Yeah.
people will be like, help you with contracts, but I don't talk injuries. Okay.
Okay.
Or they'll say like, if you have an injury, please run it by me because I want to make sure it gets out the right way. And you're like, okay. So like some of it is me learning how do I function with each team in a different role. Some teams, like some PR guys, same thing. We'll be like, hey, when you got it, I want to see it. I'm like, you're going to see it anyway when I hit send. So more feedback is good. I'll let you see it. Then I'll hit send. Some PR guys don't even respond when I'll say, hey, I got this injury. Okay. Or I'll be like, I got this trade. I'm about to hit send. Want to give you a heads up. Some will ignore. Some will say like, hang on, like we're on the foot. It's like there's various different levels. But I would say like probably half or maybe a little more, maybe 2/3 I'm in like regular conversation with. There's a couple others where like I can get him if I need him, but I'm not like in regular conversation with them. And then maybe two or maybe three that I just don't really talk to. But that, as the GMs have changed out and as the coaches have changed out, like there's almost always on every team someone I can get to when you got to have it.
And would most of your big scoops, I'm not talking about, this guy has a hamstring, he'll be out 2 weeks, but I'm talking about the bigger scoops. Are those coming from agents more than teams, I would assume?
No, not always, because like it really just depends on the relationship. If it's like, because it's everyone has a different level of like, okay, I'm comfortable with you going with this. Now, you can sort of go with anything you want at any time, but you might lose the source. So it's always a balancing act of like trying to do the job, making sure you have it first, but also knowing like, all right, if I piss this person off, like he's probably giving the next one to someone else. Like there's always different reactions. But so for free agency, I would say honestly, it's like almost half and half with teams and agents. Because with agents, they'll always have the contract numbers, but sometimes teams will sign a guy and they'll be like, just sign this guy, real excited about it. And so you'll get it that way. Or like just made a trade, so it's just really who you have a relationship with, and kind of who you go to be like, all right, when this happens, make sure to let me know.
How many phones do you have?
I only have one.
Oh, okay.
I text on my computer and I'll text on my iPad. And I'll have AirPods or I'll just put it on speaker if I have to tweet while talking to someone.
All right.
But like I only have 2 pockets. And I have my wallet in my front left pocket.
All right.
I'm not a back pocket kind of guy.
Yeah, me either.
I don't want to be like Costanza or whatever. So like phone in one pocket, wallet in the other.
Right.
Like, that's all the pockets.
Is the biggest fear running out of battery?
I mean, no service is pretty bad.
No
And I've
service.
had a
Yeah, that
couple where like, oh man, I just had one of these. Well, first of all, like I was, so, like I always bring a charger with me. I have like a little block charger essentially. I bring that with me always. So running out of batteries, usually I got a good handle on it. Like I went to the Ryder Cup on Friday, um, and a buddy of mine, sort of like comedically but also helpfully, carried like a fanny pack, and I was like, "Cool, put my charger in your fanny pack." The
right.
service thing drives me more crazy. Like I was in Mexico with my wife in June, and I get a text like, "Hey, like I've been tracking the Jalen Ramsey trade," and I got a text like, "All right, like be ready, it's about to happen," and I'm like, "Cool." We're in a car on the way from our hotel to Tulum. Like, there's no service on the way. Like, this could be really bad. Um, so I've been working on it with Tom Pelissero, my colleague, and so I was like, "All right, here's what we got. You be in contact with the people I'm in. So if I don't get it, like you can hit send with both of us on just to make sure." Like
Right.
the service thing freaks me out more. I like when you hit send and you're watching and it's not going, like
Right.
that's where you want to throw the
Well,
phone.
plus if they send you this scoop and you're not getting it because you don't have service, how are you going to know to tell Pelissero? I mean, there's a lot of layers
Right. Well,
there.
I'm telling him like, hey, be in contact
Yeah.
with your people, and if they say go, like you go. Like I
Got
had
it.
one where Brian Robinson was about to get traded from the Commanders to the 49ers. I tried very hard to live a normal life, to go on
Right.
vacations, to like enjoy family, to do those things. And I was in Nantucket, and my buddy was like, "Hey, we're going to a great food truck. It's got like ceviche and it's got like all sorts of good seafood, but like just so you know, service isn't great."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, like I know this trade's about to happen." He was about to board a plane. I think that was the timing, and I'm like, "All right, I got to hit send." And like, I can see the bars like counting down as we're driving. And I'm like, ugh. And it was just like,
Such
yeah,
a helpless feeling.
ugh,
Such a
service
helpless
kills
feeling.
me.
Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats such as rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and much more. This week, I'm definitely going higher on Josh Jacobs' touchdowns. The Packers will play that very porous Bengals defense. So look for Jacobs to hit the end zone a couple of times, go higher there. And I'm also going to go higher on touchdown catches for the Bears. Rome Odunze. He has scored a touchdown in every game this season. I see it. I see him keeping it going against Washington, so go higher there as well. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Sports Illustrated to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sports Illustrated. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Let me pause all the football stuff for 1 sec since you
Okay.
mentioned you went to the Ryder Cup. Now I grew up 5 minutes from the Ryder Cup and I live about 15
Nice.
minutes from the Ryder Cup
Okay.
now. So I was not surprised that the crowd was filled with animals. Was it as bad on the Friday when you were there as everyone's making it out to be? Because my people are getting beat up, and rightfully so, because like I said, I was not, I'll put it this way. I don't follow golf, but I saw what was going on with the quote unquote behavior, and nothing surprised me. What was your reaction to all that?
I would say for the most part, it was okay. Now,
Oh,
heckling being part of it, I thought was very fun. Like,
right.
I think I only saw maybe we were there for 9 hours. Amazing
Okay.
experience, by the way, truly amazing. People were awesome. Like Ryder Cup was great, even though we lost. It was awesome. I probably saw only one or maybe two instances where something was like out of line.
It's not
I
bad for a
actually
sporting event.
no, I mean I actually yelled at someone like in the gallery near me for saying something that I was like, dude, like what are we doing? No, I hate to do that, but it's like, just don't be lame,
Well, was he saying something toward a golfer?
Yeah, about
Oh,
like a past relationship, and I was like, no,
okay.
like we're not. That's don't be a dork, I liked the heckling. So like when I play golf, and I'll play against like my good friends, and I have a couple of good friends that I'll play with, and like we'll have matches, whatever, and like I am never shy about being like, get in the bunker, or like, oh, miss that one. It's like, it's good to talk trash, and like
Right.
it's okay to root against people that you're playing against. So I
Right.
was really in my comfort zone of like, you let the guy hit the shot, then you're like, heckle or like yell. Like I thought it was fun. And as long as it wasn't during a swing, like it brought an edge to golf that we never see. And like, it's
Yeah.
not, you're not going to see it at the Masters, but it really was like, I had a blast. And I don't think,
All right.
except for
That's
maybe
good.
a couple instances, I don't think the golfers had a bad time with it either, because like they know what they're getting.
Yeah. To me, the heckling, you can cross the line heckling, but again, it's heckling. The throwing of the drinks is where I think,
Yeah. I didn't see any
we
of
need
that,
to.
but yeah.
Right. That was on Saturday, supposedly. Did you eat in the area? I'm just curious if you know what restaurant you ate at. If you ate in the area.
No. So,
Okay.
well, they had like unlimited food there. So we had like breakfast and lunch, and
Oh,
then
wow.
spent 9 hours and drove home to get, not home, but near me to get wings at the end of like a
Got it.
11-hour golf day, which is really the only way to end it. So we didn't go to dinner. We were just happy. We got in an Uber. We got out of there. We were happy to get out without waiting like 2 hours. So.
Now, when you're there, are you getting, like, you're at the Ryder Cup? Are you getting texts from coaches, agents, GMs, whatever, with be on the lookout for this or this? Maybe. I mean, did you break any stories while you were there? I don't remember Friday.
So Fridays are different because Fridays a lot of times are like who's in, who's out. So like I sent a couple of texts, but like I made a ton of calls on Thursday and I had a ton of calls on Saturday. So I kind of was like, like, hey, I'm going to the Ryder Cup Friday, so like would love to talk to you. Is Saturday good? I kind of like spaced it. So I got some calls, but mostly it was okay.
All right, let me get back to sort of NFL topics here.
Okay.
I'm hoping you could maybe shed a little light, although I'm sure there's no news, but it does seem like we're in this holding pattern where we all expect at some point to get an 18-game season. A lot of fans want the game, want that. So the Super Bowl's pushed back to President's Weekend. I know there's stuff where you got to get the Players Association to approve it. Do you think it'll happen? How much longer do we have to wait? Give us a little scoopage on that.
Yeah, I do think it's going to happen. You mentioned the President's Weekend thing. Roger Goodell has been pretty vocal about wanting, basically wanting everyone to have a holiday on Monday. And like, we'll usually go skiing the next week, that President's Week. So like, I'll just go from Super Bowl to ski trip. No big deal. Be fun. More football is good. Like I don't know. And I'm a super fan. I'm like an NFL super fan. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask or not. But there's never a time when I'm like, oh, too much football. Like I will watch all the time. And on like a Wednesday, I'm always like, well, that's weird. There's no game on, So I do think it'll happen. It was interesting to hear Roger Goodell tell, is it CNBC? Somebody, I think it was CNBC, that they might reopen the TV deals next year.
That was going to be my next question.
The reopening of the TV deals might be the reopening of the 18-game conversation. Yeah. Yes, like they'll have to get the Players Association to agree, but like it's going to mean a lot more money for everyone. So generally in life, people like money. So I think my guess is it happens. I think it'll be great. You might get a international game every week, which I think would be cool too. There's a lot of fun things out there and some more football.
We are a divided country probably forever now, but yes, everyone likes money. The one agreement probably that we can have as a nation.
Sure.
Do you think when it happens, it'll be 18 regular season games with 2 byes for each team?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to look at a calendar and see. So like, now, first of all, because the game has gotten safer, it really has. guardian caps in practice have made a huge difference. Kickoff has made a huge difference. It's actually, special teams have been awesome and crazy this year, but still, way healthier than they've been, way safer than they've been. So, like, I don't know that teams need a bye week. I think it would really
an extra bye week. You mean
an extra bye week?
Yeah.
It would just depend on whether you want to start in that, like, whatever, like, week 0 is for college, which is what?
Right. It's usually like the 2nd or 3rd or 4th, like in that area.
Yeah.
First week of September.
Yeah. Do you want to start a week earlier or not? Like, I don't know that you'd need to.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not sure about. That's a good question. I'm not sure about that one.
And then I this just came into my head while we were talking. I'm just wondering. I wonder if you mentioned the international schedule. Obviously, we're going to get whatever it is, 16, 17 international games whenever the 18-game season happens. I wonder, because you mentioned about this is what triggered me is when you said football on a Wednesday. I wonder if they do the international schedule. Could they do it where the game is on a Tuesday or Wednesday instead of the Sunday morning? Because they could set it up where, because the team has to do that travel, they can always have a bye. I guess if they would have, no, they'd have to do it because you could have a bye the week before and then send the team to wherever, London,
You'd
Ireland,
probably have a bye after.
Yeah, right. So you're not going to be able to do it Tuesday. You're not going to be able to do it on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Look, you can do whatever you want. I mean, teams go, teams go Sunday to Thursday. You can do whatever you want. It does seem, and I don't want to speak for the league, but it does seem like officials like that 9:30 window.
Right.
And again, as someone who likes football, like I also like the 9:30 window because I get to watch a game.
But I mean, an NFL game on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, no, with time difference. I'm trying to get a game on a Tuesday or Wednesday at night, but it wouldn't work with the international schedule.
Yeah, I think the time difference, unless it was somewhere elsewhere.
Yeah. I'm going to try to play into the sports media world a little bit. If you don't have a take on it, that's fine. But I'm just curious. Roger Goodell did say in that interview about possibly opening up the TV deals.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe we're going to get to a point. Now, I don't know if CBS and Fox would be eliminated, but I think we're going to get to a point where a streaming service is going to have a Sunday package of some sort. Do you think that? Could you see that happening, or do you think the league would always stick with CBS and Fox?
I don't know. I mean, a streaming service does have a major package, obviously Thursday night, and it's been awesome.
Right. I mean a Sunday.
So I don't know enough to answer that question. The league has always been very forward thinking as far as like finding going to where the audience is, which I think is, YouTube had a game so I would rule out nothing. I don't know enough to answer it. But I would also say it's possible that, they could theoretically sell the international package to some, there's different things you can do. I am not an expert, so I will stay out of it.
Yeah. It does seem like, and it's not just the NFL, it's every sport. It seems like parsing everything into as many different packages as possible to make all that money is the future. So there's a lot of avenues for them to go. Speaking of all this stuff, there's obviously this big deal with ESPN buying the NFL network.
Heard about that.
Which has to have, I'm sure you did, where the government still has to sort of approve it. What is it like for you right now? I'll use the word, I don't know if it feels that way, but are you in limbo or you're not in limbo? Are you waiting for it to happen? Do you think about, I'm going to be working for ESPN, where as an NFL Network employee, how is that whole thing going?
It's been interesting because we've known for years that, the league was, either looking to take on a partner, which is sort of where I thought it was going. And then it was a sale essentially to ESPN and Disney. So we've been in this place for 4 years. And I don't know that my job has changed very much. So it's always you hear a player be like, well, I'm just focused on what I can control. I'm just trying to do my job. And then the reality is mentally, that's the only way to do it because it's right. It's hard to think of all the what ifs. Right. So I've with all the stuff, I was when that came out, like the release came out from the NFL and from ESPN, I was kind of like, all right, good. Like, good. First of all, good. Second of all, because I think it'll be good, really good.
Mhm.
Second of all, like the uncertainty a little bit was not over because it's still, but like coming to an end. Good. I thought the outcome hopefully will help everyone. ESPN has done an awesome job in all of the sports things. And so hopefully it'll be good for all of us who work at NFL Network. I don't know, like I'm so hyper focused on like so many different little work things and big work things that I only really think of it either when like my wife will ask or a friend will ask or when I'll do one of these.
Right.
I don't, I like my job and I like doing my job. So I hope that I get to do it in some form or fashion because it's really fun and awesome and enjoyable. And I just hope it's a really good thing,
Yeah, I think that's what maybe a lot of sports fans who, don't pay attention to sports media, not because, and they don't have to, they're just there to watch games.
Right.
But, a release comes out that ESPN is going to buy NFL Network. And I think so many people don't understand that, like, that still hasn't happened. Like, there's still a whole process that has to happen. So, and I know just from being in Sports Illustrated, there's times you're in limbo and you think things will be good. You think things might not be good. You don't know. But I think a lot of people think like, oh, they've already purchased the NFL Network. And it's like, there's a long way to go, which could be good and bad in the work world, really.
Yeah. And I mean, from everything that's been said publicly, NFL Network is still going to be around, still going to exist, still going to have plenty of shows and programming. And like, our shows are really good. I'm on a lot of them. That's not why they're good, but I'm also happen to be on a lot of them. And so, I don't know that this is a bad thing, and I think it has the potential to be a really good thing.
Yeah. Do you have a relationship with Schefter?
We are very professional and friendly. Like when we don't text every day.
Right.
Because like,
but when that deal happens, is there a text exchanged?
I mean, when we see each other or when we see each other, and hold on, let me silence that. There's a general manager calling, and I'm going to call him back because we're on this.
I appreciate that.
When we see each other, it's always like professional and cordial. Like there's only a couple people who do this, so like there's always things to discuss. And I think, it's like if one of us gets a story, like it's not personal. I think we all a lot of times honestly talk to the same people. So we're fine. Like, I've definitely communicated over the years. Like, yeah, definitely very professional and cordial.
All right. Because I mean, I guess for someone like me, I mean, I would think if ESPN played it right, I don't know if making you, I mean, you will be colleagues, but listen, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This is just the reality. The reality is you guys are the top two guys in the sport. That's just the way it is. So now they're going to have the top two guys in the sport. That would be a win for ESPN. You just hope, you guys can team up and get every scoop basically for ESPN.
I mean, I work as part of a team now.
Right.
My teammates are awesome. Mike and Tom. So, I mean, I like my job. I really do. Right. Like if that was the case, honestly, that would be fine. I like doing this, and I hope I can just keep getting to do it.
Gotcha. It's funny. You said earlier you're in Westchester. How come we never see you on Good Morning Football, like in the studio? We see you on the show, obviously, but how come we never see you sitting next to Kyle?
I
hope I'm not getting you in trouble. I hope that's not
No, there's no bad questions. I actually have to jump on a meeting for the insiders tonight, which starts at 3:00, which is now 3:01.
Okay.
So I do in sometimes. The problem is, first of all, Mike Garafolo will do that on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but also like when I'm in transit and doing things, it takes away from like work stuff. So like if news breaks and I'm in the car on the way home, I can't jump on TV.
Right.
Whereas news breaks that here, it's like get dressed, you're on in 80 seconds. It's like cool. I can go from this to full makeup and a suit in 80 seconds. So like the least I can have to be in transit, the better.
Right. All right. Last thing, and before you go to your meeting, If I knew we had to go, I would have set it up in a much more fun way. But
Okay.
months later, can you give us the full story of what happened with Jordan Schultz?
Yeah.
Give us you said before you want to know information. I want to know information.
All right. Because I do have to.
I mean, this guy bullying you in a Starbucks. I mean, give me a break. Give me the full story.
No, I mean, a lot of it's out there. Like that was just the crazy thing is like I was actually having dinner with an agent the night of, and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, I was like, "I'm not gonna publicize it. Hopefully nobody knows, even though there's like 30 reporters around there." And Florio calls me, and he's got the whole story, including what was said to me, which was like literally, I'm standing there talking to an agent. I mean, it's literally like it was said. Like he comes up and he says, like I heard what you've been saying about me. Like, we have a problem. And I'm like, okay, I don't have no idea what you're talking about. And he was like, you've been saying that I've been paying players with Uber stock. And I'm like, I've heard a lot of things. I was like, but I've never heard that. So I'm like, okay, well, that was a new one for me. Now, maybe I don't know if it's true or not, but I just hadn't heard it. And then he comes up to me and is basically like, if this continues, we're going to have a problem, and starts like screaming and cursing. And I'm literally like holding my coffee, standing there like, what on earth is happening right now? And because it was so weird, like nobody yells at people. Like that's just bizarre.
Right.
And so and then he like screams at me literally like 1 inch from my face, which is weird anyway. And then he kind of like leaves, and I leave. I call my boss, and I'm like, so this just happened. Wanted to let you know, because I got to tell you, because it's a work situation. You got to report like someone threatens you right to your face. I'm like, all right. So then I was like, I'm leaving. So I walked back to my hotel. I actually walked back to do some TV, and that was it.
How long after did Florio call you, knowing all the information?
5 hours later. But to be fair, every reporter was there. Like Mike Garafolo, my buddy, like there was a picture of that incident, and you're like, man, how did anyone get it? Like Garafolo took the picture and sent it to literally everyone. Not doing anything malicious. Like he's one of my good friends.
Look what the hell happened in Starbucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm like, gee, Mike, I wonder how the picture got out. It's like he sent it to because it was funny and ridiculous. And like we reporters are gossips. And so like I would have done the same, except it was me. But that's really the story. That's the whole story.
Where do you guys stand now?
Who?
You and Jordan Schultz.
I don't stand anywhere. I mean, I have no relationship with him. So I'm in the same place I was, like doing what I do. I don't know anything else. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep you late for your meeting, and
they're gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna blame you.
Blame me. I'll take the hit. 5 minutes late. That's nothing.
That's a long time. It's rude. It's rude to be late.
Tell him you're talking to Jerry Jones. That's all.
I'll tell him it's your fault.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it. Be well.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
All right.